Well, we will get started. I know people are still joining us. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the CAFNR Research Council webinar series. Today, we have two very special speakers, our own colleagues joining us, both talking about artificial intelligence and its applications. Dr. Pei Liu, Chair of the CAFNR Research Council, will make the formal introduction of our speakers. But before she does so, I would like to say a few words about the CAFNR Research Council, or CRC. As you may recall, we formalized the CAFNR Research Council about 6 years ago as an advisory council that would advise my office, that is, the CAFNR Office of Research. We do have faculty from every division represented on the council. We also have staff, grad students, and postdocs representation. This webinar is an example of some of the activities of the council in addition to providing advice to me and my office. You are familiar with many of the funding opportunities through my office, like the Joy of Discovery, the CAFNR matching assistantships, the graduate student, particularly for PhDs, the Dissertation Research Improvement Grant and equipment matching grants, and many other opportunities like that. And guess what? It is the CAFNR Research Council primarily helping me making decisions, like reviewing applications, going through them, and sometimes we receive ad hoc reviews, but the council members always help in reviewing many of these applications for funding through these programs. So when they help make important decisions in my office, they are representing you. In other words, CRC, the CAFNR Research Council, plays an important role in shared governance in our college. And today, CRC is bringing two of our own colleagues as speakers to you. We will have the Q&A session in the end, but you can post your questions in the Q&A box anytime. Dr. Liu will be moderating the Q&A session in the end. So without further ado, Pei, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Dr. Jones. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pei Liu. I'm Associate Professor in the Division of Applied Social Sciences. I'm pleased to serve as the moderator for today's CAFNR Research Council webinar series. As Dr. Jones mentioned, we are excited to welcome two outstanding speakers who will explore how artificial intelligence and digital tools are transforming research across disciplines. Our first speaker, Dr. Qian Liu, is an assistant professor of atmospheric science in the School of Natural Resources. She received her PhD in Earth System and Geoinformation Science from George Mason University. Dr. Liu's research explores the use of artificial intelligence for climate and atmospheric factor detection, remote sensing, and spatial temporal analysis, particularly in the context of extreme weather events and environmental change. She will present artificial intelligence and spatial temporal methodologies for climate factor analysis. And our second speaker, Dr. Mauro Palmero, is an associate teaching professor in hospitality management. Before joining Mizzou, he held academic and leadership roles at East Tennessee State University and Disney's ESPN Wild World of Sports complex. Dr. Palmero's research interests include online teaching, event management, and risk management. Today, he will present artificial tools that can help your research today, offering practical insights on leveraging AI tools for academic research. Just a quick reminder, each speaker will present their work and followed by a Q&A session. Please submit your questions using the Q&A feature, and then we will address as many as time allows. So now let's begin with Dr. Liu's presentation. Please join me in welcoming her to the session.
Thank you. I will share my screen now. Okay. Can you see my screen well right now? Okay. Thank you, Pei, for the introduction. And hi, everyone. Welcome to my presentation. Today, I'm going to talk about why and how to use AI and spatiotemporal methodologies to analyze climate factors. And here is the outline of my talk. Firstly, I will introduce some basic concepts about the application of AI and spatiotemporal methods in climate science. And then I will use my own research on cloud fraction retrieval to further address how to apply these computational methods in natural phenomena studies. And lastly, I will summarize some experiences and lessons I have learned during my research in these topics. First of all, we want to ask a question: why we are using AI technologies to study climate science? This is because the natural phenomena in all the climate systems, such as the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, and the biosphere, are mostly nonlinear and very dynamic. Some simple statistical algorithms, such as the linear regression or multi-regression, are not very sufficient in representing these complexities of the climate factors. On the other hand, the analysis of these natural phenomena always involve different sources of dataset, such as satellite observations, ground measurements, the airborne monitorings, and also the model simulations. All these datasets can be considered big data with very large volumes and intricate structures and features. For example, some satellite data may have thousands of spectral bands, and just one global covering imagery may take several gigabytes of space in our computer. Moreover, some traditional methods are usually involving complex collocation and calculation procedures, and when integrating these different data sets, and require a lot of computational resources. However, when the AI model is set up and trained, it doesn't need these data fusions procedure anymore. And thus, AI can also help us to improve the predictions by learning from the historical data or adapting to new conditions through retraining. All these characteristics can make the AI models more flexible to evolving natural systems compared to those static rule-based models with arbitrary thresholds or coefficients. And second question is, what are the spatiotemporal methods? The spatiotemporal methods are combining time and space dimensions when analyzing natural phenomena for better insights. For example, this movie showed the involvement of a hurricane captured by satellite imageries. It moves very fast and changing spatial coverage and intensity very quickly. And an accurate tracking and monitoring of natural disasters like hurricanes in both space and time are very crucial for us to save lives and avoid damage. And many AI tools and models can help us realize the spatiotemporal analysis in very high efficiencies and accuracies. For example, the long short-term memory is a type of artificial neural network that is used to process sequential data. So it is capable to capture the temporal trends in big data set. And convolutional neural network is very useful in extracting the spatial patterns. And the latest transformers can help us to study both the spatial and temporal patterns of natural phenomena. And now I will talk about my own research on cross-track infrared sounder cloud fraction retrieval using deep learning to further showcase the application of AI in climate science. Cloud is one of the most important climate factors that impact the energy balance of the whole Earth. As we can see from these two figures on the left-hand side, that the incoming and outgoing energy are totally different with and without the clouds. This is because clouds can both reflect the solar energy back to the space and cause a cooling effect, and also can absorb heat that is emitted by the Earth and cause a warming effect. So in a global scale, the clouds have a net cooling effect with a value of 20 watts per square meter, which means if there is no clouds, the Earth's surface will receive 20 watts of more energy per square meter. That will cause a much higher surface temperature than today. So cloud features such as cloud fraction, cloud type, cloud faces, cloud heights are all very indispensable for climate modeling. And among all these cloud features, cloud fraction, which is defined as the proportion of cloud coverage in a single satellite pixel or a climate model grid box, is one of the most crucial parameters in modeling the downward radiation at both the Earth's surface and top of the atmosphere. It is also one of the largest sources of uncertainty in the global climate models. So an accurate and reliable cloud fraction retrieval is very essential to determine the performance of climate modeling and weather forecasting. However, despite all these important roles and characteristics of cloud fraction, the real cloud fraction has rarely been estimated in satellite data, especially infrared sounders. Most of the existing literatures only focus on cloudy and clear sky pixel delineation or the effective cloud fraction simulations from the model, which cannot be considered a real retrieval. And traditional cloud fraction retrieval methods are very limited for low efficiencies due to they have to collocate different sources of data set each time they calculate the cloud fraction. So they usually take very extensive computation, and they usually adopt arbitrary thresholds for all the cloud conditions. This will introduce errors in the final results. Then we want to ask, can we build an accurate and fast cloud fraction retrieval model by leveraging the most advanced AI technologies? In order to build such kind of AI model and retrieve the real cloud fraction from observations, I used two types of satellite datasets. One is cross-track infrared sounder, CRIS. The CRIS has 2,211 spectral channels ranging from near-infrared bands to thermal infrared bands, which means they have a very high spectral resolution. But its spatial resolution is relatively low, which is only 13.5 kilometers at NADA. And WIRS has only 22 spectral channels, ranging from visible bands to long wave infrared bands. However, its spatial resolution is much higher than CRIS, which is 375 meters for visible bands and 750 meters for those infrared bands. And both of these two sensors are operated on the same satellite platforms, including SNPP, NOAA 20, and NOAA 21. So they are measuring the Earth's surface at the same time and same location. This provides us an opportunity to use the advantages from both of the sensors, which is the high spectral resolution from CRIS and high spatial resolution from WIRS, so that we can use the spectral features of CRIS as the input predictors and WIRS cloud spatial informations as learning target to train an AI model to produce the cloud fraction estimation. And the key to this study is to build the correct and precise relationship between CRIS spectra and the cloud fraction derived from WIRS cloud mask. Because if you associate wrong learning targets to your predictors, no matter how advanced and how fancy our AI model is, we cannot get correct results. So this group of figures show the collocation between the crease and rears. Figure A is how one scan line of crease look like on top of the rears imagery. And figure B is when we zoom into one of the crease pixel groups. Each big orange circle is one crease pixel. In remote sensing, we call it field of view or FOV. And the small dots in the background are the rears pixels. And each crease FOV covers 200 to more than 1,000 rears pixels, depending on the locations. The blue dots on figure C are the clear sky pixels identified by rears cloud mask, and the gray dots are the cloudy pixels from the rears cloud mask. So the cloud fraction of each crease FOV can be calculated as the proportion of crease cloudy pixels in that FOV. And the figure D is the cloud fraction calculation result of this FOV group. And the figure E is the calculation result of this whole scan line. After we got the cloud fraction information, we can use this information to train the crease spectra in AI models for retrieval. In my study, I used a deep learning model called deep neural network to realize the retrieval. The model contains 4 parts. The first part is an input layer, which contains all the more than 2,000 crease spectral channels and their corresponding cloud fraction calculated from rears cloud mask, and then followed by a principal component layer. In this PC layer, the principal component layer, I call the PC layer in the following talk. The PC layer will firstly convert all the crease spectra into their PC scores. This is because the crease radiances are highly correlated, and the principal component analysis can decorrelate the original crease data and transform to a new projection that concentrate the most important information into the first few PCs. Then I used a series of sensitivity tests to decide how many PCs should I use as the input to the model. According to my results, when the PC number is 77, the model yields the best performance. So in this way, the input features are reduced from more than 2,000 to only 77. This will largely improve the model efficiency. And the third part are 3 fully connected hidden layers. And the last part is an output layer that yield the final cloud fraction estimations. And after the model is fully trained, the rears cloud mask is no longer needed, so that the complex collocation part can be avoided for operational purpose. In order to address the accuracy of my model, I conducted a series of use case studies. One is a group of case study on October 30th of 2018. These groups of figures show the retrieval results for daytime and nighttime. On the left-hand side are the daytimes, and on the right-hand side are the nighttimes. We can see from the figures, the model accurately predicts most of the cloud fractions in both daytime and nighttime, over land and over ocean. And the overall Pearson's R is larger than 90% of all the conditions. More specifically, the figure A of these 2 groups is the Weir's imagery, and figure B is the real cloud fraction observed from Weir's, and figure C is the prediction yield by my model, and figure D is the difference between the truth and the prediction. And also, when we look into the difference pattern, we can see that the accuracy is a bit lower for those partially thin cloudy areas. This is because the spectral features of thin cloud and clear sky are very similar to each other and very hard for the model to predict. Moreover, the mixed strong surface signals can increase the complexity of the spectra covered in the thin partially cloudy scenes, which may consequently result in a very high retrieval uncertainty in these areas. And when we look at the mean square arrow curves for both daytime and nighttime, we can see that the arrows in high latitudes, particularly above 60 degrees, are much higher than those of lower latitudes. This is because the relatively low accuracy of cloud mask product of Weir's over high latitudes, especially in the polar regions, because these regions are covered by large areas of snow and ice. They are very similar with clouds in the satellite imageries. And the inaccurate input from the Weir's in these scenarios will introduce inaccuracies to the model during training, thus reduce the model's ability to correctly estimate the cloud fraction over these regions. And another reason is that both the Weir's and Crit sensor have much larger instrument noises over cold scenes, which may also reduce the accuracy of the model over high latitudes. And from the table, we can also see that the accuracy is a bit lower over land and during night. This is because the surface cover over land is much more heterogeneous than that of ocean, which increased the complexity of the satellite observed spectra over land. In addition, the mixed pixel ratio over land also increased the difficulty of accurate cloud identification. And the low accuracy observed in the nighttime is likely due to the weaker signal received by the Cris at night, which make the spectral contrast between neighborhood faults much lower than the daytime. So the model cannot distinguish between different cloud fractions. To further test the reliability and accuracy of our model, we also conduct a case study for a continuous 7 days from June 1st to June 7th in 2020. From the table, we can see that the model yield high accuracy over all of the dates. So all of the Pearsons are above 90%, and the MSE is lower than 0.05. So we can say that our AI model is very powerful in estimate the cloud fraction in a global scale and in most of the sky conditions. And finally, I want to talk about some experiences and lessons I have learned from all these research using AI on climate science. First of all, the data quality and pre-processing are very crucial in our application because the missing data, the bias and the noises in the raw data and the mismatch between the learning target and input features can significantly introduce large errors to the final results. And secondly, our domain knowledge is also very essential to help us to avoid the physically implausible results and the misinterpretation of the patterns that AI give us. And last but not least, the multidisciplinary collaboration is a must in our application. For example, as a climate and remote sensing scientist, I really appreciate the collaboration with data scientists and computational scientists. They help me a lot on the understanding of these AI structures and hyperparameter training. And that's all for my presentation today. Thank you all. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much for that insightful presentation, Qian. And now it's time for the Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat. And if you want me to unmute you, just let me know.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
I may have missed, what AI tool did you use as you processed all the data that you have?
Here, I can show my model here.
I'm sorry, I probably missed that.
Yeah, so through the pre-processing, I associate all the CRIS is one of my data. The spectral information from CRIS and the cloud fraction information from VIRS, another sensor, another remote sensing data I used together, and to form a training data set and put into the AI and ask the AI, especially my AI model is the deep neural network model, to let the deep neural network model to learn the relationship between the CRIS and VIRS. And then after training, after the DN model have learned the relationship, I can simply input only the CRIS data into the model and let the model yield the cloud fraction result for me, because cloud fraction information is very important to climate modeling, to some other applications. So that's the purpose I want to retrieve the cloud fraction. And AI can help us to extract these complex relationship between these two data sets and give the result very quickly.
So this tool that you're using is an AI-powered tool, right?
Yeah, yeah, okay. Power, yeah.
Okay. I don't see any other question in the chat, and I think thank you for the presentation again. And if we have any further questions, we can always come back to the end. And now let's move on to our second speaker, Dr. Palmero.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm gonna share my screen with you. Please let me know if it is working. Can you see it? All right, fantastic. So I'm gonna activate my my slideshow. Okay, first. Okay, can you see this? The yellow things. All right, so before we start, I want to tell you guys a quick story that is linked to this presentation. Okay, so just bear with me. Here's the story. Episode 1, A New Hope for Academia. In a galaxy far, far away, the sinister Imperial LLM Alliance, led by powerful Emperor ChatGPT, has tightened its grip across the academic universe. With bottomless coffers of credits and unquenchable thirst for market dominance, these formidable machines dispense information of really questionable origin and dubious quality. But resistance flickers amongst the stars. A courageous research rebellion, a band of specialized tools operating from hidden bases and sometimes offering their services without payment, fights to preserve the sacred traditions of academic integrity. The rebellion's success may determine whether scholarly truth will triumph or be forever lost to the dark side of expedient falsehood. So this story has to do with AI because that's the current situation that we have. Our students are using this. Many researchers are being swamped with every 5 seconds something new coming in terms of AI. So what I'm going to present to you are tools that some I tested with great extent, some I just know about. I didn't have a chance to play with them a lot, but they are, for the most part, free tools that will certainly help you in different phases of your research. Can you guys still hear me okay? Pei, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
And can you see the slides as well?
Yes, I can see.
All right. So let's provide you with something that you can use today if you decide to do so. All right. So every researcher is going to have to find articles, summarize them, make that material your own, and organize all that in a way that will support your research correctly. So I'm going to start with Perplexity. Okay. It is a tool that has a free tier and a paid tier for $20 a month, and is a tool that you're going to be using to collect articles and do some first exploratory research. I'm gonna show the websites all together later, but that's the first bunch. So Perplexity is the first one. Okay, is a very is for quick research, is for you to search for a paper or two that will help you. Okay, it provides you sources as well. Okay, but it's not always deep academically. Okay, so is one tool that you can use alongside with the good old Google Scholar, which in my opinion is still very relevant, but it's not AI. It's just a question and answer engine. That's why it's not here. All right. So the next one we have is Semantic Scholar. This is also a really cool tool, free forever. Okay. Has more than 200 million papers that they can reach. Those are, so they have 280 million papers, and there is a part of that those papers that are just the abstract, but also gives you the ways to get to papers and know that research that is coming. All right. So the next one is in this category. The next one is SciSpace. Okay. This one here is similar to Perplexity. Okay, but it is going to help you with summarizing and providing you some extra insight on each paper that you have. So I'm going to be showing, so it's going to make sense. And in this category, last but not least, is Notebook LM. Okay, it is a fantastic tool, and I'm gonna hopefully be able to show to you guys these tools all together. Okay, Notebook LM allows you to pull articles, even peer review articles through the internet. You can upload PDFs that you have. You can upload websites. you can get YouTube videos, you can get audio files, Google Docs, Google Slides, all those things Notebook LM can use to help answering questions for your research. So let me stop my share here for a second and let me share again so I can show you the websites. Where is it? There you go. I think this one is the right one. All right. So the first one that I want to share with you is Perplexity. Okay, and I put something here. I made a search, AI using scientific research, and gave me 76 sources. Okay, the problem with these sources here, you are gonna need to go back and make sure to verify every single one of those. Okay, before you can use the summary that the engine can provide you with. It is an interesting kickstart for some ideas, I would say. Okay, and is a decent work that the Perplexity does in terms of summarizing and putting together the most important ideas of those 76 sources. Okay, the tool also has the spaces area where you can exchange articles of other people that are also in Perplexity, and also you have access to let's see if in my account supposed to have a library of some sort for the things that you already, for some reason, is not showing for me, but I want you to show. Oh, another thing that's interesting, Pei, can you still see the Perplexity page?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so another thing that's interesting here is that you can do a common search, and I'm using the free version here. You can use the common search, or you can go to deep researching going on. You also can click here which sources to use, and what I ran was the web. If I run the same search with just the academic, is going to focus only on the peer review articles. Okay, so that's Perplexity for you. It has the free version, but also has the pro version that gives you a lot more. As you guys can see here, when I touch, the research is telling me that only gonna let me get a query at pro level, one more remaining today. Only gives you 3. If you jump to the pro, you get the big service every time. Let's go to the next one. This piece here, I think, is fantastic. Semantic Scholars. I put AI using scientific research and gave me 5,500 articles. And I didn't touch the filters here at all. Okay, you can search by field of study, you can search by date range, you can search the ones that have the PDF available for you to extract right away, and there's quite other filters. This is really compatible with Google Scholar, but what puts it above Google Scholar is the fact that gives you a nice sort of summary here, and also this citations here shows you which article was highly cited versus articles that didn't get any citation, like this one here, right? So I have different this article got 40 citations, so it's not compared to the others here is not that bad. So Semantic Scholar is a great tool. I strongly recommend, when I go after information for my scholarly activities in regards to teaching, I usually run Google Scholar, Perplexity, and Semantic Scholar all together to get my articles, right? Let's jump to the next one. Is SciSpace. This one here is a little more modest, okay? SciSpace can collect a bunch of really good things for you. Okay, I put the same query there, AI used in scientific research, and gave me the top papers, and also makes a comparison between each article here. That's something that's really cool. Perplexity does that too in a different setting, that gives the article and gives the main insights for each article here, okay, for you to be able to do other things with it, okay. This one is there is the free tier and also the $20 a month paid tier, okay. Honestly, I don't think we need to use much of the paid parts, because with Google Scholar and all of those combined, you are going to be able to really bring in the sources we have in our from our library search engine. We should be able to get really high quality collection of papers, okay. Then last but not least, here's our friends, okay. This is a tool, Notebook LM, that I have been using a lot, okay. So you can ask Notebook LM to go fetch articles for you. I'm getting the free version. They have now a pro version that gives you more, and it only brings you 10 articles or websites, 10 items, right? 10 sources at each time, so you import that into your sources, okay. So I have all my sources here. So if I want to add more, I can discover sources, or I can upload the articles that I collected from other sources and put that in here. Now let me show you from another notebook. And again, the free version, you can only upload up to 50 sources. So the smart strategy is to break down your study in different sections, so you can have 50 sources for this section, 50 sources for the other. And here's what Notebook LM can do for you when you have your sources, okay. It lists everything here. You can use all the sources. You can ask the AI to process all the sources that you have, or you can just click on, select the ones that you wanna be used. So you come here to the chat, you ask your research question or any other thing that you wanna see. There you go. That's the view that I wanna show you. So if I ask you here, what are the top AI tools for 2025? It's gonna go through all the sources that I have there, and it's gonna give me a synopsis of some sort, giving me exactly what are the top ones. And of course, is the time of the day when everybody's using it, so that's why it's taking a little bit longer. All right, there you go. So you have sources that they pulled from, information that they pulled from the sources that I have. So what are the main AI sources for research in 2025? Okay. Not very applicable for research, but you can transform what Notebook LM did to you to a talking conversation, okay? A deep dive conversation is more like a podcast. I don't see how that is quite useful for research, but for our students is a good way for them to study. Okay, you can also transform this information into in a study guide format and other things. But and also all inquiries that you do here, you can save. You can, when you come to the end, you can save that as a note. So you have, as I was preparing for this presentation, I did a lot of, going back and forth with Notebook LM to come up with this presentation. So I used all these tools truly to put this presentation that I'm showing you guys now. Let me go back to the main presentation so we can proceed. Okay, hopefully you guys can see. All right, so the next category that I have to show you is, you get to that point in your research that now I need to see how these articles interact, how they are related or not related, and where the research gaps are there. So these tools that I'm going to present you are quite helpful to do that. I don't have a whole lot of experience with them. This is more from the research that I did, and also from the YouTube videos that I watched on how to use this, but I didn't get to use it for my own benefit. So Elicit, that is, it can really accelerate your literature review, and also creates image mapping of the research that you are using. Okay, it can give you a literature matrix, and is a good source for you to orient your data, your data extraction out of the literature. Okay, the next one in this category is going to be Research Rabbit. I heard great reviews about this tool. Okay, it does a really good job for you to in terms of visualize what the different articles that you put them to process, how they relate, how they interact. Is a great tool. Research Rabbit is completely free. Elicit has the free plan and the $10 a month plan, but this one, it came highly recommended. The next one in this category is also Litmaps. Okay, it is similar to Research Rabbit. Okay, but has the premium version. It wasn't very clear to me exactly what that one, how that one is better than the one that's completely free. But I have, hopefully Dr. Leo had the chance to send you the presentation, and I have a table with all the best use for each tool, and in the description, pros and cons and price. So yeah, I give you all this information so you have the chance to go and see what fits better for you, right? So after Litmaps, we go to Cite AI. Okay, Cite AI is the one that's gonna help you with the citations, both in text and your reference list. Okay, it is has a premium version, but is very limited. And the best is, if you decide to go with that one, is to purchase the premium subscription. That is $20. $20 a month. I made a mistake here. It's 20, not 12. Okay, we're gonna move to the next. And I thought, that we would be talking about just quantitative data. But what I found here is that there are several tools that is not only is going to help you digest the quantitative data, but also help you tell the story that data is telling you. And also there's one one tool there that helps you with qualitative research. So let's go to it. The first one is Julius. Okay. These ones came also highly recommended as the top of the line tool for you to really get the analysis done, get a good visualization on what the data is telling you, and the insights for you to write your discussion at the end at the end of your article. Okay. But it's not free. You gotta go from tiers starting at $20 and going all the way to $50 a month. Another tool that is really great, but this is for really heavy data, is Power BI. Some of you guys may know about. Okay, the main feature here is dealing with large amount of data, and also the graphs and the charts that can put together for you. The free version that they are talking about is just a way to entice you to start doing business with them. You're gonna really have to, if you're gonna really use it for your work, you're gonna need to pay them. Okay. The next one would be Tableau, that can create some interesting dashboards in terms of graphs, in terms of interactions. Is really cool and fancy stuff from a visual perspective. You're gonna pay between $35 and $115 a month, depending on the package that you decide to go. And then we go to InVivo. Okay. It looks, the product that they put out there looks pretty fancy. I'm not sure if it is worth it of $500 a year. Not a month. So it may be about the same price as the others, but it came highly recommended, but is also very heavily used by people in the business area and people that are deep into entrepreneurship. So I don't know how much for scientific data processing is gonna work, but I'll let you make that decision. The next category that we have is writing and feedback. Now, very important here is that it is keep the human in the loop, alert, alive, and well, and don't take what the machines give to you at its face value. The first one also came highly recommended, is Jenny AI as a writing assistant. Okay. And has capabilities to help you with paraphrasing, to help with improving fluency. As an English as second language myself, I think this is going to be fantastic for the ones that decide to go with, because it helps us communicate better, help us to put our points across. You work so hard in your data processing, and when it comes to time for discussing, a little bit help with language, I would say for myself would be a great asset to have. The next one is Quillbot. Is not that different from Jenny AI. Jenny AI is not free. You're going to be paying at least $15 a month to have it. Quillbot has a free tier, but it's also that I will entice you to go for free, and then I get you for $4. And some changes is not a bad deal if you need help with getting this processed. Okay. Let's see, and I think I have a couple more. PaperPal is also a tool that help, but didn't seem to be as as robust as the other tools that I showed you. Okay, you can start free, but then they will suck you into the paying subscription like anybody else. And those are the tools that I have. Hopefully you guys had the opportunity to look at the links that Dr. Liu posts there for you. And I'm ready for questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that very informative presentation. And I see two comments. One participant said the notebook LM. You can also create a podcast that call in to it and ask more questions. It's really cool. And also, another one, thank you for the AI tool cheat sheet. It's very helpful. And the next one, thanks Mauro for great resources. I think some popular tools like Perplexity only use open access articles and therefore limited in their research scope. Do you have any opinion on which AI tool is best at accounting for non-open access articles?
Well, what I think is is going to be hard for the tools to be able to, most of the tools are giving you the PDF for what they can get for free. And if the article that you want is behind a paid wall, they are going to give you only the abstract, and now going straight to your point, most of these tools, I'm starting to see disclaimers saying that they're very conscious of authorship and copyright issues, that they are giving you only the articles that are in these categories, and everybody's kind of following the policies and procedures that Google Scholar has, and I personally trust the safety and the security of Google Scholars have been using for years and has been fantastic in terms of how you use and keep and preventing those articles from being used for uses that are other than education related uses. I hope I answered your question.
And I have another comment added. You can check PL Llama for Plant Science articles.
Right. Thank you. I'm going to explore that one too. Thank you.
And I don't see any other questions or comments. And again, thank you to both our great speakers for sharing your research insights and the practical strategies with us today. And I will now hand it back to Dr. Jones.
All right. Thank you, Pei. Let me also add my thanks to our two outstanding speakers today, and also to all of you for joining the two webinars. This was our last webinars for this semester, our spring semester, and we will resume the CRC webinar series in the fall. We already have an outstanding series of speakers lined up already. So join us back in the fall. Until then, thanks again.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.